They used to say I was too ugly to marry, not whispered behind my back, but out loud like it was public knowledge. My name is Maya Turner, and for 12 years I hid my face behind a cream-colored veil. People made up stories about it, that I'd been in a fire, that I was deformed, that I was too ashamed to show myself. Truth is, I just couldn't stand seeing the girl they told me I was. I was 16 the first time I put that veil on, and 28 the night I finally took it off. That night changed everything. I still remember the fundraiser where it all started. It was at the Riverton Community Hall, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and gossip spreads faster than the smell of coffee. I was setting up my lemon tarts, trying to stay invisible, when I heard them laughing. Still wearing that thing someone said. Must be awful under there. I kept arranging the pastries, pretending not to hear, but my hands were shaking. Then the room shifted. People started whispering. Elias Grant had just walked in. The billionaire. The man who basically owned half the city. I figured he wouldn't even notice me, but then I heard that voice. Deep, calm, polite. "Excuse me, are these yours?" I looked up, and there he was, smiling not at the veil, but at me. He took a bite of one tart and said, "This is incredible. Do you sell these somewhere?" My heart stopped. I managed to say, "Turner's Bakehouse on Cedar Avenue." He smiled again, said, "I'll remember that," and walked away. No judgment, no staring, no pity. Just kindness. You'd be amazed how shocking that can feel when you've lived without it for years. Then my stepmother showed up, because of course she did. Valerie Bennett. Elegant, cruel, and always armed with her two daughters, Kendall and Brianna. They circled me like vultures. "Still hiding your face," Kendall sneered. "Must be nice not to have mirrors," Brianna laughed. Valerie just smiled that poisonous smile and said, "Your father would be ashamed wasting his bakery like this. You should sell that building before someone better takes it." I swallowed hard and said, "I'm not selling." She scoffed. "We'll see." I thought that was the end of it, until the end of the night when Elias came back. He told me those tarts were the highlight of the event. I meant what I said. "I'll stop by." Then he walked away again, and for the first time in a long time I felt something. Hope, maybe. Let me tell you something about how I became the veiled girl. My dad ran the bakery before me. He was the kind of man who believed sugar could fix anything. He taught me to bake, to love people through food. When my mom died, he remarried this woman, Valerie, who smiled sweet but had ice in her veins. The day after he died of a heart attack, she dropped the act. Told me I was plain, that no man would ever want me, that my father left me the bakery because he felt sorry for me. And she didn't stop there. She made her daughters join in repeating it until it became my reality. I stopped looking in mirrors. I stopped trying to be seen. Then one night, after they laughed me out of going to prom, I found my mom's old veil in a box and put it on. For the first time in months, I could breathe. I wore it every day after that, until it felt like part of me. 2 weeks after the fundraiser, the bell above my bakery door chimed, and there he was, Elias Grant, standing in my little shop like he belonged there. "It smells amazing," he said, smiling. "Told you I'd stop by." He didn't come for pastries, though. He came with an offer. "I've eaten at the best restaurants in the world," he told me, "and your lemon tart is better than anything I've had in Paris. I want to invest in your bakery, help you grow, expand, modernize." I thought he was joking, but he looked at me and said, "You deserve it." No one had ever said those words to me before. I said yes, even though I was terrified. The next few months were like watching my own miracle unfold. New ovens, new mixers, new website, new customers. Suddenly people from all over the city wanted what I made. And Elias, he kept showing up. He wasn't just my investor. He was a friend, maybe even more than that. He never once asked about the veil. He just believed in me. He'd taste new recipes, close his eyes, and say, "This is art." He'd ask about my dad, my life, my fears, and every time he listened, I felt more like a person and less like a ghost. When we opened the new downtown bakery, it was huge. Cameras, reporters, crowds. And then, like clockwork, Valerie and her daughters walked in, acting like they owned the place. Valerie smiled and said, "So who'd you have to sleep with to get all this?" I froze. The whole room went silent. Then Elias appeared behind me. He said, calm but cold, "I'm her business partner." And what I just heard sounds like extortion. He pulled out his phone. "Would you like me to call my lawyers?" They left faces red, tripping over each other to get out. For the first time in my life, someone defended me. No one had ever stood beside me like that. Weeks later, he invited me to a charity gala. Ruth, my older neighbor, helped me find a dress. Dark red, elegant. I stood in front of the mirror thinking maybe I'd leave the veil behind that night. But fear still won. At the gala, Elias introduced me proudly to everyone. "This is Maya Turner, the woman behind Turner's Bakehouse." People actually listened. Nobody laughed. During the dance, he leaned close and said, "You have no idea how proud I am of you." I didn't know what to say. On the drive home, he got quiet. The city lights were flashing through the rain, and he said, "Can I tell you something? I'm lonely. Everyone sees my money, not me." Then he looked over and said, "Except you. You see me." He took a breath. "Maya, I have feelings for you. Real ones." I froze. I said, "You don't even know what I look like." And he said, "I know everything that matters. Your heart, your courage, your kindness." I fell for that. 2 nights later, I called him over. I told him the truth, that there were no scars, no burns, just years of words that broke me. I said, "I'm tired of hiding." And then with my hands shaking, I took off the veil. He just stood there, silent, and I thought, this is it, he's disgusted. Then he whispered, "You're stunning." I laughed through tears and said, "You don't have to say that." He stepped closer, touched my face, and said, "I'm not saying it because I have to. I'm saying it because it's true." Then he kissed me. That was the night everything changed. After that, I started living. Slowly, carefully, but for real. I showed my face at the bakery. Some customers were surprised, some didn't care. Most were just happy to see me smile. Elias came over one evening with blueprints. A new building, 3 floors, our dream bakery. "I want this to be ours," he said. "Equal partners, in business, in life." I said yes. 6 months later, on the day our flagship bakery opened, the place was packed. And of course, Valerie showed up again, but this time she wasn't angry. She was crying. "I came to apologize," she said. "We were cruel. I was wrong." Kendall and Brianna nodded, eyes down. I looked at them and realized I wasn't angry anymore. "I forgive you," I said. "Not for you, for me." That night after we closed, Elias took my hands, dropped to one knee, and asked me to marry him. I said yes. So yeah. They once called me too ugly to marry, too broken to love, too strange to show my face. And now I'm building a life that's bigger, brighter, and freer than anything they could have imagined. Tell me what you think, though. Do you believe people like Valerie deserve forgiveness? Or do some wounds never really heal? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from, and if you believe everyone deserves to be seen for who they are, hit subscribe. And remember, cruelty isn't truth. It's just noise.